Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm Zmore, the dad in DPS, and today we're back with another episode of The Good, The Scrap, and The Script, a series where I review weapons in Appalachia and see how well they do. And today's weapon is no different, but before we get into it, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. When you ask what killed you, tell them bloody ninjas. Now this is a vampire weapon speed action point cost fixer. Now, I'm going to drop any pretense. We know this weapon's going to do well. We know this weapon's going to slap. And it just is what it is. Now when it comes to a fixer, you primarily do want to sneak with it because obviously you get better results. But at the same time, it's vampires, so I don't think you get really a full idea of the weapon sneaking around with this one, unfortunately. So yeah, we're just gonna go around, shoot things in the face and see how it goes, and we'll show you the build just for good measure. So as you can see, it is just a kind of standard commander build. We are using some sneak perks in here because we're going to show you with sneak and without sneak, because I don't think you're going to get the full idea of it without, you know, letting things hit me, but at the same time, it does do some impressive sneak damage. So yeah, let's get on with that. So we are in West Tech as usual. Now, when it comes to the damage, you're seeing this thing completely obliterates targets, and that's without any damage assistance related perks and whatnot. It's an incredibly strong weapon at taking out enemies. Now, this is the thing about the fixer. It doesn't need help with taking out enemies, even unstealthed. Like, it's absolutely slapping things. Now, we are on a bloodied build, but at the same time, I'm not using bloodied on this weapon, so that's not entirely relevant. Like, it is just a very good and solid weapon at taking out targets. Like, you're seeing the damage on this thing without any like main damaging effect is just so consistent and so very, very deadly. The fixer is one of those weapons that you could just be using a base version of the gun with no legendary effect, and it'll take down most of the enemies you need to in the game with relative ease. Obviously, it's not optimized. Obviously, it's not the best way to use it without any legendary effects on it. But it's just such a good and consistent gun that, yeah, it doesn't really need special effects to make it incredibly powerful. And now we're at Jeff, and to continue my thought process with the previous thing, is this weapon, the best variation of it is quad with essentially faster fire rate. And you're seeing with sneak damage, we are doing some pretty decent damage and killing Jeff fairly quickly. But then if we come out of sneak, like it's not like we're doing small amounts of damage. We kill him pretty quickly in quite a limited amount of bullets. And again, this is the kind of thing about weapons like this. Quad faster fire rate is one of the best DPSs in the game. Yeah, you use up more ammo, but you are absolutely going to completely slap enemies like this. And the only real downtime you're getting is reloading a lot of the time. You've just seen how quickly he died. And with that, we come to the Mirelurk Queen. Now, I always reiterate with these types of things that when I come up to enemies like the Queen, the best solution to dealing with her is cripple the legs. Take out the legs, and then she is a big, easy target. And the thing about it is, like you're seeing, again, it doesn't have any additional damage, it doesn't have any additional effects. I'm using it outside of stealth at the moment just to illustrate, like, you're going to take these enemies down relatively easily. It is always going to be better in stealth. It's always going to be better if you're using an optimized stealth setup. But at the same time, you are going to get some pretty significant amounts of damage off on enemies. You're going to be able to kill them. Like, putting Tormentor on helps you deal with big enemies that would otherwise, you know, be able to one-shot you. And even at the health I'm at now, that thing can still potentially one-shot me because it's an absolute beast of a monster. So we come to expeditions. Now, when it comes to the enemies in expeditions, you're not really going to have any trouble. Like, we took that guy out, we're getting 9 bullets back, you know, it's really not that difficult. The enemies aren't particularly strong against this weapon. You know, the human enemies especially, like, you're seeing here, like, one clip, we've killed nearly 4 of them out of stealth. It's not going to give you any real hassle, and we're getting like double our ammo back. And then if we were in stealth, you know, it's only going to be all that easier. Like, we're stealth now, there's usually 3 of them down here. We'll just take them out very casually, and then we're getting essentially more than triple our ammo back, I would expect, from these guys. Yeah, more than triple our ammo back. So it is one of those things where this weapon is optimized to be used in stealth, but at the same time, you don't necessarily need to use it stealthed. It's just a case of it has the advantages of it. Now, when it comes to things like your overgrown, they are annoying, to say the least, when it comes to any weapon. I absolutely detest the overgrown. They are one of the more annoying enemies in the entire game, especially when it comes to the pollinators, because the regular overgrown on their own aren't really that much of a threat, but the second you add a pollinator or two in the mix, they are just, turns everything tanky as hell. Don't get me wrong, there's some weapons that do big ticket damage that will kill them in one hit, which then completely erases the fact that the pollinators are there, but they are just like unnecessarily annoying. I really do not like the overgrown as enemies at all. Granted, I think there needs to be variety and diversity in the game, they just annoy me. But when it comes to this weapon, it doesn't have an issue with dealing with them. It's just a case of you need to make sure that you're prioritizing your targets like you should do when you come up against these guys. You should make sure the pollinators are dead as quickly as possible. So yeah, come to expeditions, you're going to get your ammo back and you're going to be able to thrive. So that was today's video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Now, when it comes to the fixer, I think, yeah, you don't need that damaging effect for it to be usable and to be incredibly powerful, and Vampire is one of the best effects for just general survivability. What I'd say is, obviously, it could do better in these tests, but not having a damaging effect does hinder that. But even then, I think Quad is the best main effect for a fixer, and quite a lot of automatic weapons, because it just allows that sustained fire. It doesn't really matter on small targets like super mutants, ghouls, that kind of thing, but against your big targets like the Marlar Queen and onwards, you know, the big tanky enemies, it does make a massive difference. So yeah, it's a decent weapon. I think it's very powerful and I really enjoy using it, and I'm probably going to swap this one over to my full health character because I think they'll get more use out of it than this character does. Either way, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time in the Wasteland.
You hear him barking, you fear